This is Futurebuilders podcast, and I'm your host, Teemu Uotila. I'm an enthusiastic future explorer working with a Finnish tech company. Together with my guests, we are building the future today. Are you in? This is Futurebuilders podcast with Lauri Pyykkönen, CEO of Golden Rainbow. He helps people to improve their stress management skills and energy levels with sports and exercise. Together with him, we'll be finding out how much are we willing to sacrifice for work. You are a treasure, but do you understand it? How to make everyday life a celebration. Glad to have you here, Lauri. Can you tell a little bit about your background, how you ended up with Golden Rainbow, and what's your goal in life?
Thanks, Teemu, and thanks for the invitation. I'm really glad to be here. And first of all, I have to tell that I really love the idea and slogan you have, changing the future, and we are building the future today.
Yeah,
I have
change
a story.
Happens instantly.
Yeah, and it is really so. I have a story. As you told, I'm working with sports and exercise. As I was a teenager, I played soccer. I played football, and we had a game. After first half, we were losing 1-0, and we went to the locker room. And during that time, we had 15 minutes there. We were talking with the players and so on. And during that time, I realized, hey, really, we have now time, 45 minutes still going on, and we can now change our future. So that's why I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah.
Because it's really my life and my passion also. We can make the change now.
Yeah, and it's still a midway of your life at least. So if you look at how long people live, so definitely, you can make a huge impact.
Yeah, as long as we have time, we can make the change. About my background, I'm an entrepreneur. I work mostly here in Helsinki region, so here in Finland. And what I do with my clients, I help them with stress management and about the skills, healthy lifestyle. What I do with my clients, if it's personal training, one-to-one meeting, then we do like walk and talk. So we do exercise, but what we also do is that we talk. We talk about life, we talk about healthy lifestyle, different things, what impacts our health and in our life. And then on the other hand, there is this public speaking with some organizations, workplaces, and so on.
Yeah. When you focus on the health side, but also on the mental side of things, and usually when people make their life changes or improve something, it has to start with the mental side of things. You need to accept the change that you want to achieve, right?
Yeah, and that is what I really work with. Some people think that it's only that we are doing physical exercise and we are only changing our body or something. But most things what we do first is we start to change people's attitude, because when you change your thinking and when you change your attitude, you can change your behavior.
Yeah. How do you see how people adapt to that? I mean, some, I guess, get on board faster, but some take longer time. Is there sort of like a process how you get people on board, or is everyone a unique person and you need to customize how to get them changed?
Yeah, of course it starts with that you really want the change, you are ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm working with those kind of people who really want to change. It's not forcing or something, it's you need to have the will for the change, and it starts with that. And then on the other side, it's as you said, it takes time. It's about learning new skills, learning new things to your life, and it will take time. But it all starts with the attitude, and you need to have the will for that.
In your mind, what's the biggest issue in stress management point of view? What are people having most trouble?
If we think about work life, then it's about that we work too much and we work too long during our days. We are not balanced with our work time and our recovery time. We work too much, and it takes too much from us mentally and physically.
Yeah. I mean, I recall that there are many studies that say that people don't usually be at 100% optimal level if they try to work 8 hours straight. I mean, you need to have these breaks and do something else in between if all possible. Not all industries, of course, can do it, but if you have a chance, you should maybe split your day in half or something like that and do something in the middle.
Yeah, it is really so, as you said, Teemu. It is, and we can think it from many ways, but let's start from our schools. We have a 45-minute lesson, or we have a 1 hour and a half lesson, and then we have a break. Yeah. So I think it would be the same in our work life. We need to have breaks, small breaks. I'm not talking about that working 2 hours and having 1 hour break.
Yeah.
Working 1 hour and a half, having 10 minutes break, stretching a little bit, walking around, having maybe fresh air, some water, some snack, and then continuing.
Yeah, that's quite normal in your regular white collar jobs in IT industry or consulting. But when you go to the factory floor, for instance, then if you take a 15-minute break, people will be looking like, oh, he's not really working that hard, and
yeah, and I think that's the attitude that we need to change, because the recovery time, it is really needed.
Yeah.
If we think about top athletes, they want to improve every day their skills. They want to be the Olympic winners. And what they do, of course, they train hard, and they train a lot.
Yeah.
They train with right techniques and tactics, but that's not enough. If you want to be the best, you need to take care of your recovery.
Yeah.
Because during your recovery time, you take your step to the next level.
Yeah.
And that is the thing.
You improve while you're resting.
Yeah, you say it so. Yeah.
I mean, I recall that if you look, for instance, these, let's say 20 years back in the 90s, these college football players, American football players, their sort of like diet was Mountain Dew and noodles or something like that, because when you're 17 years old or 18 years old, you can handle that, but that's no way sustainable in your life if you look at in a longer term.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good point, that you need to take care of your health, of course. It's sort of like a holistic approach, and not just doing one thing good and neglecting the others.
Yeah, and it's also about the quality of life. I really like you have talked here about different things related to open mind. We need to have imagination. We need to have curiosity. Those are things that are related to health.
Yeah.
But you have been here talking also about money, work life, and that's on. And I think really it's important to think about short term and long term. For short term, we can handle stress and so on. But how about with the long term? We need to have, if we drink just Coke and eat Snickers.
Yeah.
In short term, it's maybe all right, but how about the long term?
Yeah.
And that is what we need to see in our business.
Instant calories, but you don't. You pay it in a long run, I guess.
Yeah, that is so.
So when you work with these people, how do you see that? Well, money is of course one driver, but what sort of like puts people over the edge when it comes to stress and time management and energy levels? Sort of, is it only the money that motivates them, and that's why they overwork, or what do you think is the main reason?
Money is one, but also it might be so. I work mostly with entrepreneurs, so they run their own business, and they want the success, and they want it fast.
Yeah.
And we all know that success doesn't come in one night or 1 week or in 1 month.
Yeah.
It comes with long work and with long process.
Yeah, you need to be really dedicated in there.
Yeah.
And you also actually need luck involved in many cases. Yeah.
And luck comes when you do things. That's also one thing. If you are throwing, if you are playing a basketball and you never throw, you can never do a point.
Yeah, that's exactly so. If you work with people, so what do you think if you take the work context out of their life? How would they react? Would there still be this stress issue, and would they still be tired? How would be their energy levels be? If the world would be perfect and you wouldn't need to do work, you could do anything you would want. People would still feel stressed out?
I think it would be different. Then if we think about our private life, then without work, then it's about the social relationships.
Yeah.
And that is also what stress people in work and in private life.
Yeah.
And always when I meet people, we go through these different things, and social relationships is one. You cannot walk away from your problems.
Yeah.
If you have problems in your social life, then you need to fix it.
Yeah.
You cannot run away.
Yeah, they always reflect on your work effort. That's true.
Yeah.
If you have unhappy family situation or troubles at home, those definitely you will feel the impact.
Yeah, but for your question, I believe that if people don't need to work, there would still be stressful people.
Yeah.
But the stress will come from different issues and from different things.
Yeah, because people usually define themselves through work. That's sort of their purpose.
Yeah, and that is also one thing what makes, because nowadays what makes people stress is that we see success in everywhere. We go to Instagram, we go to Facebook, we go to Twitter, we go to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And we see successful people there. And if you are running your own business or you're working for your career, of course you want success also.
Yeah.
And that makes the pressure, and that makes the negative circle or negative wheel that drives you. Then you are comparing yourself to the others.
Yeah, and also when talking about social media and stuff, it's usually not what is actually happening. You always put quite a much glitter and bells and whistles.
Yeah, you put the best pictures there and best videos. You never see what's behind the scenes, so what happened next to the picture.
What about if you look these people, entrepreneurs and people like those, they usually have very high tempo in their days and being always busy. How do you see stress being stress can also help you out if it's a proper type of stress? So do you teach them how to manage it, when to be stressful, so to speak, so you can perform well?
Yeah, that is what we do, and then we come back to this recovery and improvement.
Yeah,
because it can be really, you can be in your you can have a flow during your daytime, but if it goes on and goes on and goes on, it might come so that you don't have the fire anymore.
Yeah,
it dies inside you, and then comes dark times and burnout. If you don't take care of your recovery, and then we come back to this, that it's good to have motivation and flow, whatever you do, but then you need to balance that.
Yeah, and that sort of requires quite a lot of individuals to recognize when you should wind down a bit or do something else. So are there any tricks that you can tell people how they recognize these kind of points when they should be,
Of course, we have now technology. You can use different kind of apps or electronic devices. But I think that the most important thing is to ask from yourself daily or weekly, how am I doing today? How I feel now?
Yeah, looking in the mirror and asking that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said, we have now hectic life rhythm.
Yeah.
And that is the time to stop and asking how I do today, how I'm feeling. We need to do that regularly.
That's hard for people. I guess to get the habit of that.
Yeah. It's also so that it can be so that when you ask those kind of questions for yourself, it can be scary.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to find the answer.
Yeah. But still, I really believe that's the only way. You need to take care of yourself, and that's what I really like also about the slogan, "We are building the future today." It makes us active.
Yeah.
And I really believe and think that we all need to take an active role in our health and in our life.
Yeah.
Of course, sorry, it's also that it's not only that you need to do that alone. It needs to come from you, but also we all need some support from our social life, from friends, from family, from your partner, and you can do that together. But it needs to come from you, inside from you.
Yeah, the spark needs to be inside. And
and the active role.
Yeah. How do you teach people to sort of like to say that phrase in front of a mirror? Do they need to practice at home, or are there any tricks?
Well, it starts with the conversation. That like now we are now here. It could be so that he would be my client, and we talk about these issues.
Yeah.
And then we have the meeting today, and then 1 day or 2 days after, we make the call and asking how are you doing, and do you have any questions about we had a meeting 2 days ago. Do you have some questions that you want to go through again or something? It's a process, and we are learning about that.
Yeah.
But it is so that you need to take action. We cannot just talk what to do. We really need to do that, and that is what we are learning with safety and with trust.
You need to make people accountable for their actions also. Yeah. So that they take control. What made you, by the way, first interest to found this company and start working? What was your spark for this?
Well, when I was teenager, I was thinking what I will do when I come adult, and it was a easy question for me. I made that question to myself, and the answer was that I want to work with people, I want to teach, and I want to work with something that is related to sports.
Yeah.
And after that, the answer was that I want to be a physical education teacher, so teach sports in school.
Yeah.
So I went to high school, and during high school it was easy to be there because I knew what I want. I knew what my dream job is, and I went on. And after high school, I went to the university, and during that time, before I went to university, I worked one year in a school. I was as an assistant teacher there, and I saw how is school life and so on, how the rhythm of life is in there. And then I went to university, and still I was thinking that, I want to be a physical education teacher. It's really what I like to do. I like to be with people, I like teaching, and I like something that is related to sports. But then during my studies in university, it was the studies was with sports instruction. It's like on the first year we made different kind of sports and we learned how to teach those. And on the second year there came our studies were related with entrepreneurship. And that was first time for me to think, whoa, I can work as an entrepreneur, I can work with sports, I can work with people, and I can teach them with my own style.
Yeah.
And that was my motivation to start with Golden Rainbow.
Yeah, so you weren't locked into the curriculum that you need to teach at schools and stuff like that. Yeah, you can do it in your way and apply it.
Yeah, even though I really feel that we have a great education system here in Finland, but still I feel that Golden Rainbow is, for me, it's like art. You know, there was Da Vinci and Michelangelo during Renaissance time. They paint their art and paintings. I really feel that Golden Rainbow is my painting.
Is your magnum opus, so to speak, that you want to do.
Yeah.
When you work with kids, by the way, just came to mind, are you worried about the future generations in a sense that how they are doing in the world, be that physical or mental aspects of life?
I'm worried about the social relationships.
Yeah.
And I mean that we have now fantastic technology. We can make a phone call from here to Sydney. We can make a face call from here to Beijing and talk with people. But really what we need, we need with other people, we need presence.
Yeah.
And that is what we need. We need time with others. And we need care and trust and love.
Yeah, those don't translate on digital world.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid, but I feel that we need to take care that we don't lost these things.
Yeah.
When we go more digital and digital.
Yeah, it's that this movie WALL-E, that it doesn't happen, that everyone just sits in their flying couch and has this goggles on their head and reject the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really so, and there's pluses and negatives with the technology and with the kids. But I see that as an opportunity more. It's you can be 10-year-old kid and you can have friends around the world. You can open your perspectives to the life, see different ways of life. But on the other hand, we need to take care that we have still the skills for the presence, that we really can meet people
in the
face
real
to
world.
face.
Yeah, there's definitely, when it comes to communication, for instance, there's these studies by Albert Mehrabian, how to get your message across. So one is this 7-38-55 rule, meaning that 7% is what you have written on a paper, and 38% is what your tone of voice is telling you, and 55% is what your body language is telling. So even in that sense, these studies prove that the physical presence has a huge impact in getting your message aboard across, and also, in influencing people, so to speak. Yeah,
it is really so, and it's also a skill that is needed. We still, even though we don't need to be in the same place, we can work with computers from our homes, but sometimes we need to come together and we need to work as a team.
Yeah.
And we need the social skills, how to be with other people, how to talk to each other. And also, why the name of company is Golden Rainbow? It comes from there that in life we all have our own opinions and how we see the life. And if we think that I have one color, you have one color, our friend, he or she has one color, from there when we put it all together, there comes the rainbow. With different colors, different opinions, different views to life. Life is not black and white. And that is what we need to teach for the youngers and for the adults.
Yeah, and that's a good rule of thumb in all points of life. I think it was way back in ancient Greece. I don't recall who said it, but it went sort of like, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it went something like, what you see is a perspective, and what you hear is an opinion. So meaning that it's never actual facts; it's always an interpretation of the surrounding and facts. So that's definitely good to keep in mind that my reality might be totally different than what you have.
Yeah, and we need the skills to talk about it.
Yeah, to manage it. And yeah, that's definitely a good skill to have, and that's a thing that will be lost when you move to these digital domains. Sort of like you can have an easy discussions and get to knowing people there, but if you want to have a deeper impact, you always achieve it better if you meet face to face.
Yeah, and we come to this that like Anna Cook said in your previous podcast, that we need curiosity.
Yeah,
and that is what is really needed. It's you need to be curious.
How do you see cultivating that? Do you incorporate it in your own work, and that you need to make people curious about something in order to achieve them something?
Well, when they contact me, they are already curious because they want to make the change. But it comes with and now I really need to ask, what means cultivating? Life is learning, so
life is learning.
Yeah.
It's never done. Well, it's done till when you reach the grave, but before that, you need to always grow and adapt. So that's sort of like, I mean that you need to make them curious. They have the seed in there, but it sort of like needs the water in order to grow. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do you see that people who contact you, they are already curious in all aspects of life, or do you need to sort of like wake them up on let's say, the mental side of thing, the resting side of thing?
First thing is, of course, because it's a social relationship, and what we all need in our social relationship is we need trust, we need care, and we need safety.
Yeah.
And I believe that it comes with that with the presence and with the time.
Yeah.
That's why if I have one-to-one meeting with the clients, it's 60 to 90 minutes, because it means that we don't need to end the conversation after 60 minutes. We can continue it and do it smoothly and naturally.
Yeah, so like, sorry, we are out of time and now we need to go.
yeah. So it's like that, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Google did a study on teams and teamwork. So they had this project Aristotle that they did, and those were the things that they found out, that what makes an effective team and what makes an effective product, so to speak, within that team, is that you need to have the trust, meaning that you can voice your opinion and criticize other ideas and the context of things, and you need to be trust that no one is holding back, so to speak, in that meeting, and everyone is everyone's opinions are heard. So sort of like similar aspects what you listed in here that happens on this one-to-one session also. How do you see trust how long do you usually take to earn people's trust when you're doing? Is it sort of does it happen on an instant level, or is it a long process?
I think it's more with personal question. It's about what's the background of the person and what they are looking for and so on. But it of course it takes time you earn the trust. So it needs action.
Yeah.
If you say that, let's meet 10 o'clock at the swimming hall,
Yeah.
and you come there 10:15,
Yeah.
then it's not. Where is the trust, or you have to show it,
Yeah.
and earn it, and also it comes. I believe, as I said, I maybe say it now too often, but it's really about the social relationship. It's about the presence and time. Nowadays we have so much. We have WhatsApp, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn, and
A lot of the different things to follow. Yeah.
And our presence goes there. But if we have one-to-one session, even with the client or with colleague or friend or partner, I think we need to have the presence.
Yeah.
And related to health, I really feel I have this triangle or pyramid, and I have there 4 levels. If you think about pyramid or triangle and made it with 4 different levels, on the lowest level, what makes the health strong, it's the social relationships. It's with, as I said, with love, care, trust, and safety. That you have people around you that when you are falling, they take you, and as like a trampoline, they support you up.
Yeah.
And that makes you strong.
Yeah.
That you can feel safety for life.
Regarding what you were saying about feeling this presence, I've actually found that, well, I do, for instance, these ultra trail runs, and then I practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu and whatnot. So those are definitely moments when you are doing those that you are in present. You're not mindful of your cell phone or anything like that, but you need to be 100% or more than 100% focused on the situation. And I think many people lack that kind of moments in their days.
Yeah, and that is for the stress management also. It's you need to listen your feelings. You need to listen your body, what it tells you. Am I going now too hurry, or is it now good? Do I feel good? It's like that when that is what we are doing with my clients. It's once I had a client. He came to me and we had our first meeting. We were having a conversation. We went through the background and so on, and then we made a deal that next time we will have a walk in a forest. His background was so that she is entrepreneur. She was stressed. She felt tired, and there was a risk for burnout.
Yeah.
And her family and friends told to her that now you need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
That you feel better and you feel more energetic. And it's not enough that you go to the gym. You need to go there 4 times per week. And it's not enough. You need to go to the gym 4 times per week, and you need to train hard, like with no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for her to start exercising. So we had our conversation, and I said to her that, okay, hey, next time, next to your home, there is a forest. Let's go there. We went there. What we did, we had a walk with, we didn't go fast. We had fun. And after 15 minutes, she said that she can feel the difference. We were without our cell phones, with any digital device. We were just listening to nature and listening how it affects to our mind and to our body.
Yeah.
So that is what it's all about, I think, with exercising and doing sports, is that you get to know yourself mentally and physically.
Yeah, you need to know, and that's a common mistake I think many make when they do these life changes. They do exactly that. Start from zero and go 4 times a week to the gym all out, and then get exhausted, so they don't ramp up to certain levels. So for instance, if you are Usain Bolt, for instance, you are not born with that. That's a build. You need to build that performance and that level of skill into you, meticulously. And many people forget that, and then just go full steam ahead and don't think about it once again in the long term.
Yeah, and the motivation for, in my perspective, what I see, the motivation for doing sports, it comes from the health.
Yeah.
People start doing exercise and start doing sports, and then continue it because it's healthy.
Yeah.
If you think it rationally, of course, it's important and so on. But if we think about Usain Bolt, or if we think about kids, why they are doing sports and why they are playing, it is because it's fun.
Yeah.
And that is how I motivate my clients to do sport and continue it.
Yeah.
Have fun with sports when you are doing it.
Yeah, and choose the sport that you enjoy doing. So that's, I think, also key.
Yeah, that is also like with music. Some people like classical music, some people like rock. For some it's jazz.
Yeah.
It's the same with sports. Someone likes swimming, someone like walking in the forest. For someone it's tennis.
Yeah. Yeah, variety of different things. When do you look at people's rest time and spare time itself? Do you think we are in modern society getting enough rest and recovery time?
I think not. We are sleeping not enough, and that is one of the biggest issues. I read a study that if we compare what it was 20 or 30 years ago, today we slept 2 hours less than during that time, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, because everyone needs to be high performer, so to speak.
Yeah, it is so, and I think that's one of the key elements also for stress management. So you need to take care of your rest and your sleeping time.
Yeah, because it's also, if you look at once again younger kids who are in elementary school, for instance, the school starts at 8 a.m. and people are forced to wake up early. So there's been many studies that it's not actually beneficial to start school that early. For instance, they did this study between 2 different groups, that one started at 8 a.m. and another started at 10 o'clock in the morning. They did the exact same test and exact same performance analysis on them, and the group that started later got, I think it was 20 or 25% better scores because they started later. And if you look why schools start early, well, it's not because of the kids, it's because of the parents. You need to be at home or at work at 8 o'clock or something like that. So it's definitely institutionalized in our way of life.
Yeah, that is true, and it's maybe hard to change, but then it comes to this active role, what we can do, and it is so that we can go sleep earlier. Of course, sometimes it's nice to watch some movies from Netflix or do some things in the evening, but maybe for short term. But again, you need to think about the long term and to see the difference. If you sleep daily or nightly 6 hours compared to 8 hours, it's a huge.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
For instance, just based on heart attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so on. It's we all know this, but one thing is that we really need to understand it.
Yeah.
It's I think it's different that we know and we understand.
Yeah.
And that is why it's I use this like with the recovery, with the sleeping and eating and so on. It's totally compared with this top athletes as we're going through before in this podcast. It's understanding that if you want to be the best and you want to improve your skills or your level, you need to take care of your recovery.
So what's your own methods when you want to wind down, so to speak, when the evening is coming and you need to start thinking about going to bed? What do you do yourself?
Well, for me, it's after 8 o'clock in the evening. I can read my email, but I don't answer if it's that kind of priority that I don't need to act. I can do it in the morning. I have said to myself, it's better to do in the morning. I can see it and I can read it, but I don't answer because I think it's better to relax in the evening. Then it's time with the partner or with friends or just time with myself. That's also important to have. But I really like relax in the evening time. It's for cooking and then watching maybe a movie or something, and then
head to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's. I also have a similar approach that I don't answer emails late at night. I just tag a star to them and then address them in mornings. But I do have a bad habit of sending quick messages all around in the evening. But like our producer Mikko, I said that I might send you an email or instant message for like 9 o'clock in the evening, but don't take any stress that you would need to answer it. Since I know it's totally insane time to send it. But when something comes to mind, I like to usually have a mental note and send it onwards. But yeah, that's sort of like good point that you shouldn't expect that people always should be available and answer 24/7 because it's very stressful.
Yeah, and of course, and then have to realize also that we work in different time zones and so on. So it's if you work in global company and then you have around the world offices and so on. So it's you need to take care of that also, that you realize that you cannot work 24/7.
Not for long, at least.
Yeah.
You will end up in a hospital or in a grave soon.
Yeah, but that's also one thing. It's have to realize that in business, the time is money.
Yeah.
But also health is money.
Yeah, health is longevity, definitely.
Yeah, because you can work when you are healthy. If you are sick, you cannot work, and it's cost. I think in Finland it's about. Of course, it depends about the salary and so on, but the average is about, if you are 1 day away from work because of sickness, the cost is 400 euros.
Yeah.
So how many, or let's say how many euros or dollars you can throw away because of sickness?
Yeah, it's definitely, and in some industries it definitely can be more. It can be €1,000 or more per employee. Depends on what they're doing. So people should definitely take care of that.
Yeah, and also that when you are feeling good and you feel energetic, I think then you feel more motivated also to work, and the result is better.
Yeah, I think you give more bang for your buck, so to speak, when you are healthy and not. Yeah. One thing I found out is that, well, once again, thanks to this digital era that we live, that people don't take that many sick days nowadays. When you take a sick day, it means that you work from home. So that's also very typical, at least.
Yeah, and then we need to come to this: what is the culture in the company?
Yeah.
If you are sick, then you need to rest.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because.
But people are not, once again, they interpret stuff very differently. And if it's a big corporation, they might expect that, well, of course, he or she will answer.
Yeah, it is so.
How do you, by the way, go with your week? Do you plan it ahead for 1 week ahead, 2 weeks ahead, or how's your calendar forming up, so to speak?
Yeah, it's like that every Sunday, during Sunday, it can be afternoon or early evening, I go through my calendar, how the next week looks like, how it will be, because then I adapt to the coming week. Okay, I need to do this, and that kind of preparation. Then when I do bookings, then I do my time management so that I have time for lunch, I have time for breaks during my daytime, that I'm not rushing all the day.
Yeah, so you have a room for error, so to speak, in there. If something goes awry.
Yeah, it is so, and it's helpful also for stress management, and it's like that. Once again, someone can think that when you work more, it's better and you get faster result, but in the short term it can be so. But I feel with the entrepreneur and having own company that it's not a sprint, it's not a marathon, it's a journey.
It's a journey for life, definitely.
Yeah, so
being your own boss and doing.
Yeah, I need to take care of myself, and time management is one thing for that.
Yeah. When you do this, when you have these calendar sessions, how do you define what is sort of like appropriate amount of work for you? Do you have a specific hour limit per day that you put on each day, or how do you work that out?
I feel that, as I said, one meeting for me it's 60 to 90 minutes plus I need to go to the client and go back home, so it takes time. So I think 2, maximum 3 clients per day. Because I need the presence with and I want to have the presence with my client and so on. So it's like that. So it's.
Yeah, because I see that many people, when they plan their calendars, they have a meeting after meeting. So one meeting is hour and it ends 1 o'clock, and the next one starts at 2 o'clock. So you don't have any downtime in there. It's just transfer from meeting to meeting. And, if one meeting goes overtime, it accumulates and creates more stress. So I think people don't necessarily realize when they book these meetings in their calendar, because they once again want to appear effective.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like in my mind, that's not very effective. I mean, you have lots of stuff to do and you're in a hurry, but are you producing much? Well, not that much.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think we both have a own answer for that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, some people do enjoy that. I know those persons, and but I always seem it quite ridiculous in my mind. And also, for instance, I don't have any meetings before 9 o'clock. If someone tells me that we should have a meeting 8 a.m., I'm fully going to decline that, because first, I'm not a morning person, and 2, I know that I need to take kids to daycare and stuff like that, so I do not make it in time anyway. So it's just better to start later or find a different kind of slot in order to have a full, impact on that meeting. And
that's also with stress management. It's and about the health also. It's different to be 5-year-old kid or 15-year-old teenager or 25-year-old student or then married 45-year-old or 65-year-old who's maybe having last year in his workplace or something. So it's always related to our life situation.
Yeah. How do you, by the way, look at work life? I mean, do you see it as a whole or an individual piece, so to speak? Because I remember that I think it was Henry Rollins that said, he's a musician and spoken word artist. He said something like, "There's no work time, there's no free time, there's only lifetime." I think that's a very good quote.
Yeah,
in my mind at least.
Yeah, it is. There is, but I think it's good. But on the other hand, it's true that we have only one lifetime.
Mm.
But then nowadays it's really work and private life. It's really mixed.
Yeah.
And I think it's really needed that when we are having our free time from work, it's really free time. It's that you can relax, you can do other things than that are related to work, because then you charge your batteries, and then you and life is not only for working. I think it's how you see, but it's true that we have only one life, and for that I have many slogans in my mind, but for now with this I feel that I'm asking for myself time to time. I'm asking from myself, is my life, is every day a celebration?
Yeah.
This comes from my high school teacher, from Mr. Esa Partanen. When we graduated from high school, he made a speech to us, and he said that dear students, you are graduating today. Congratulations. Now today, enjoy. This is your day. Celebrate, have fun. But when you continue from here, make your every day as a celebration.
Yeah. Well, that's a good advice. I mean, you should at least try to make every day as best as possible.
Yeah, and that's one of the top 3 advices I have had in my life, and I have also said thank you for Esa for that. But I think it comes from the perspective that is an attitude, and we live here only once, and I think we need to take the best for that. And it's about, at least here in Finland, we have I think we have everything. We have fresh air, we have food, we have water, we have shelter.
Yeah.
We have home, no war or something. So why not make every day as a celebration?
We have a decent enough social system to carry out if you are in a rut, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree that this is, even though the winters are bad, this is definitely as a whole, this is a very good place.
Yeah, and then when it's winter time, it's full darkness here in Finland, but over that time I feel that it's even if it's outside darkness, it can be inside light.
Yeah, definitely. That shouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah. Of course, it's nice to have sun, and now it's coming springtime. It was last week we had really great winter days. Sun came out, and I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't remember how it feels
what it looks like.
Yeah, but still, it's we need sunlight, but also we need something that comes from inside us.
Yeah, gives us energy.
Yeah.
When looking about these people's health skills and what they eat and how they take care of themselves, so how do you define what is sort of like healthy eating and well-being? Do you have food plans that you give out to these people, or can they eat everything that they want as long as they,
I think the most important thing is the routines.
Yeah.
Because once you have the routines, you don't need to use your energy for the lifestyle that you are keeping up. Yeah. And for the routines, it's of course learning something new, some new behavior, and I think that and with my clients we do one change at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely if you try to implement many changes at a time, it either going to take a long time or none of them are going to happen.
Yeah, it is. But it's all. I think that all starts with the thinking and with the attitude. When you change your thinking, you change your behavior.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the routines and with the lifestyle.
Yeah. How do you see this? Do you yourself, for instance, prefer some different diets, like going full meat or full vegan or anything like that?
Well, for that, I'm working with the sports. So of course I can make some suggestion for the diets and so on. But if there comes something special, then I tell to my clients that now it's time to go to some other specialist for the specialist who knows better about nutrition.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and or if there is some problems with the sleep, then it's better that there is specialists for sleeping.
Yeah.
And sleeping problems and so on. So it's also that thing I have made clear to myself and to the others also that I'm not a Superman. I don't know everything, and that's also one part of Golden Rainbow, that we need teamwork, and I'm just one color in the rainbow, and
yeah, you definitely need the complementary skills like that. There's no one person can learn everything.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, for instance, nutrition and stuff like that, it's a field that is constantly changing and new studies coming out. So the information amount that gets is quite large.
Yeah, that is true what you say, Teemu.
And then, one good example is, for instance, the sports masseuse that I go. This guy has a quite vast knowledge of human anatomy, muscles, tissues, and bones, etc. And he still cannot give any sort of like official medical advice on things because he's not a doctor, so he cannot tell that your leg is actually wrong and you should do this and this, even though he's an expert in his field, and I guarantee that he has more information in his head than 90% of the doctors, unless they are specialized in that area.
Yeah, it's
so that's sort of like a problem also.
Yeah, it's a complicated problem, and I don't say the answer now or my opinion now. I think it's good that we have authorities that take care of the healthcare system, but I think it needs to be updated also.
Yeah. I think our food pyramid is also back from the 1960s or something like this.
Yeah, it's
eat a lot of bread and then everything else on top.
Yeah.
Here's one cucumber. So that's sort of like a very, very outdated. But yeah, definitely. So if you think about our listeners, what kind of challenges would you like to tell them what they should try to do themselves now? If you have 3 things or 3 challenges that you would like to impose upon them, what would you request our listeners to do?
You have been talking here in a previous podcast, you have been talking about values.
Yeah.
I think that for listeners that would be awesome, that they will go through their own values. And how to do that, my advice is to make that triangle or pyramid to the paper, and then put there 4 different levels. And to the lowest level, you put that what is the most important to you. And most important for now related to your health. What kind of action or what thing is the most important. On the second, you put what is the and then on the third and fourth, you put more
so
information to yourself. But you put there what you think that is important for your health.
Yeah.
Like for me, instance, that I have put there on the lowest level. There is my social relationships. That I take care of my social relationships. It includes love, trust, care, and safety with friends, with the partner, with the family.
Yeah.
Because as I said, sometimes we have problems in our life, and during that times, it's good to have great people that you can trust around you.
Yeah.
So that's the hard stone that it's there in the lowest level for me.
Yeah.
Then on the second, there is this healthy lifestyle that I can affect. It's with nutrition, it's with sleeping, doing exercise, time management, different hobbies that makes good to me.
Yeah.
On the third level, there is, for me, is the finance. Money is one issue also in health.
Well, it is. It's required in life. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to talk about money also.
Yeah.
So there is love, healthy lifestyle, then finance, and then when all these are doing good, I can work to my dreams. So on the fourth level, there is dreams.
Yeah, so that's
I think
the future
dreaming,
part. So
yeah, and I have a dreams and for my private life and for my work life, and I think that when these first three are in a good shape, I can work to my dream, and that are my values, and that those things are important to me. So I think that for listeners that would be a great tool to do.
So are you now on the fourth tier, and are you now navigating towards your dreams, or are you still building the foundation yourself?
Of course, it's a daily thing. It's not like
it's not a one-time thing.
And about the dreams, I mean, and about these things that I need to take care of those things daily.
Yeah.
I need to take care of my social relationships daily.
Yeah.
And weekly.
So it's sort of like the checklist that have I done?
Yeah. And then also the with the health. It's like with you build a house.
Yeah.
And it comes ready.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the project. It's just a start. You need to take care of the house. You need to clean it. You maybe need to renovate it. You need to do some changes during the times. Maybe new paintings on the wall or something. You need to fix it. So it's the same with health.
Yeah.
It's good that you have this kind of checklist, that you are thinking that what I need to do, and am I doing it?
Yeah.
It's like a checklist. I think
it keeps you. It keeps you honest.
Yeah.
That you can always go back to that.
Yeah.
Regarding on yourself and these dreams and whatnot, if you would have infinite amount of finances, what would you like to do, in a sense, in an ideal world? Do you have a vision for that yourself? I mean.
Yeah, I think that I like playing golf, so that was my first thought that playing.
Have your own golf course.
Yeah, and that on, but then I think we come to this what Arnold Schwarzenegger has said, that give something back.
Yeah,
I think that is important in life. I think already I'm now in a good position in life, but if I would be in that kind of position that I don't need to work or something, then it would be something that I can give back, because I feel that I'm really lucky. I was born in good conditions here in Finland. I have love in my life. I'm healthy and so on. So I think it's time to give back something. I got so much from Finland. Let's say it's I have free education, free healthcare, and so on. So need to take care about that for the coming generations. It will be something similar.
Yeah. So, and I mean that's definitely a good aspect, that giving back, and I think that's one of the reasons why many of these very ultra rich people start to do all these philanthropic things. That you start giving back your money if you don't actually want to do anything physical that helps others. So
yeah, and we come to this as, I don't know, I don't remember with who you were talking about, but it's not worth to be unhappy millionaire.
Yeah, that was Dean.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not.
Yeah, so it's, and I think life is just me. It's life is we.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
I think it was just a funny quote popped into mind. I think it was Ricardo Semler who said it, that if you feel that you need to give money back to charity or something, you have taken too much. Which is actually a good point. You start feeling guilty at that point, and you have to start distributing back. So there's a point to that.
Yeah, and it's of course it's. I'm happy that people they do business and they success and so on, but and so on. But I think I don't say that those rich people they are doing like it wrong way. You need to think also values for your business and for your work, and that's also one thing that helps for your health. I think that
and you shouldn't be punished if you are rich. I mean, that would be totally wrong. Yeah.
But have to think about values in business also, and how to work and what kind of atmosphere you and culture you make in your workplace and so on. So it's
I think it was the CEO of BlackRock that said that in the next couple of years, the investors and people who are owning these Fortune 500 companies, that they don't only focus on the bottom line, how much money the organization is making, but they are also focused how much impact the organization has to your surroundings. And if that is true, then and that's the direction, then that's definitely a healthy one.
Yeah, and I think it's also for the business with the long term. We need to respect. We are now talking about climate change. Of course, we need to respect the nature, but also we need to respect the people.
Yeah,
and other things in what are related to business.
Yeah. Regarding climate change, I last week I saw this movie, this Vice. There was a funny thing that I don't know if it's actually true, but I remember it happening that before climate change term was used, it was used global warming, but you don't use that term anymore because climate change is way more neutral than talking about global warming. So they sort of like spin the term. I don't know who did it, but I do remember that when I was young, you were talking about global warming. But then at some point, the term phased out.
And related to health, it's also that how we talk to each other and try to understand. It's sometimes when we come from different cultures, or even if we come from different backgrounds, every one of us, and if we are thinking if we are talking about this chair, we can have totally different opinions or backgrounds how we see it.
How to perceive that.
But we need to have those skills that we can talk.
We can
together
communicate and see.
Yeah.
Where do people find more about you? Do you what social medias or where is your digital presence if people want to find out more?
LinkedIn is the best.
Yeah.
I'm in Twitter also, but LinkedIn is I'm more active there.
Yeah. So there's your organization also.
With the organization, it's Facebook.
Okay, so you work in that domain.
Yeah. Facebook and then LinkedIn.
All right, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. I think our over an hour is up, so that's definitely a good chat. And glad to have you here. And hopefully we can have a round 2 at some point.
Thank you, Teemu, for the invitation. And let's make our everyday a celebration, and let's make the future now and today.
Exactly. The future is here tomorrow. Join the discussion on our LinkedIn page, We Are Future Builders, and listen to more Future Builders podcast on wearefuturebuilders.com.